Hello.
Hello, can I hear you?
Can you hear me?
Kinda.
Does my microphone work?
I don't know.
Does my
A little
microphone
bit.
work? Or are you just hearing me?
I think it works. I think it's working better.
Okay.
I should adjust mine out. Like
I don't have much of a voice.
oh, Nelly. Technical difficulties all around. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
And I'm turning my microphone on with my new doodad.
Hopefully you can. Does it sound okay for me?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've used it. Winter's used it, but I've never used
Yeah.
it.
Sounds
I apologize for me being so quiet today.
good. Just turn your volume up on your devices.
All my volumes are already up, so I can't
No,
do anything.
I'm talking about everybody else. So you've lost your voice, and
Yes.
I had major dog things today. So crazy. Just got home.
Crazy day. Crazy day.
But that's okay. You know, we roll with our punches, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I was excited to talk about our topic today, the overthinking, positive thinking. I'm very excited to talk about that. Because you were talking about the CBC team that we work with, that you work with, and how, it's hard when you're trying to like change to that like positive mindset, because then you're like all the time, oh, I need to have a positive mindset. I need to have a positive mindset. But then you like overthink it. You literally overthink it, and it makes it harder than it needs to be.
Well,
I did that at least.
and I did too. I mean, when I first started with my life coach stuff and all of the things that I've, been learning, it was a constant, oh my gosh, I have to change. How many different ways can I change? I always have to be on top of it. And then I was like, just stop. Because then I was getting almost more anxiety, almost more depression, because I was like, there was so much going on that I was like, I'm not thinking clearly all the time. I'm not thinking positive all the time. We can't think positive all the time. We have to, it's a 50-50. I've said that so many times. But my life coach is always the same way. She's like, life is 50-50. We're going to have those hard times, and that's okay. But learn from them so that you can change to that better mindset and not get so worked up about, oh, I have to breathe. All the things you have to think about when you're starting to recognize your thoughts are causing what's going on with you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
I did all of that, especially when we first started. We were working through that judger versus learner mindset, and I was like overthinking everything. Like I was like, I want to change my mindset. I want to get through everything. I want to be able to work through my thoughts without it being, like hard and like a whole, like a breakdown. Basically, I don't want to have the mental struggles of all of it. But I want to have this like positive mindset. I want to bring that to my athletes and everything. But if you overthink it, then it just makes everything worse. And honestly, it emphasizes all of your other like negative mindset, negative traits that you might already be like working to try to get rid of, or not really get rid of, but
working through
work through and adjust.
Yeah. And it's, like I was talking, I had a big discussion last weekend with your dad, and it was really good because we kind of got through some big things and then kind of went back to things that I have pushed down for years. Thought that I had worked through, thought that, I'm in this different mindset. I'm working towards my future, and why things that I have learned that from the things that have happened from me in the past. But, if you don't take care of them, what do I want to say, properly? Because we have so many things that go on in our lives, right, that we're learning from, that we're taking with us no matter what. We can forgive, which is, we want to forgive. We want to get to that point where we forgive that situation. And um, but if you don't completely forgive and just push it down and say, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to have that positive mindset, somewhere along the line it's still going to come back.
Yeah,
And somewhere
absolutely.
along the line it's going to come back because you have to somehow clear it and completely forgive the situation, completely see where that situation is in your life now and where you're learning from that.
Absolutely.
And it's so important to understand that and then process it and let it go and say, okay, this is my future now. I'm not my past.
Yeah.
I'm not what other people have said about me. I am who I am and trust the journey.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, everything that you grow up learning, like how you are raised, shapes who you are. And so, a lot of times, what you need to be working through and how you work through everything is like years and years and years and years of just like you don't know anything else. And you don't know, like, you were never taught how to have that specific mindset to change that mindset. You were just raised in it and you were just kind of told the deal sometimes, and that's just kind of how it is. And so it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that has to be continuously worked on. And sometimes you don't know exactly what was that trigger, what was that trauma, what was whatever it was. But there's usually that one thing that's like, oh my gosh, that's it. That's the thing. That is what has caused all of these problems. And then you can just work through it from there. And working through it from there can make it a lot easier once you actually know what that trigger is. But you can't force to find that trigger. You have to kind of wait it out. You have to kind of work a little bit here, work a little bit there, and then like slowly it'll the real truth will come out, and then you'll be able to be like, oh my gosh, this is really what it's been all this time, and I've been thinking it's all these other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. Well, and to recognize, when you start hearing the voice in your head, right? And you start hearing the negatives, this is what happened when I did this. This is what happened. This is going to happen again. Well, that's that past, that's that negative voice in your head where you have that positive voice in your head where you have control over your past, where you can say, no, I've done that before. I've learned what I can do. I've learned what I want to do. I've moved past that, right? And so once we start understanding that we have control over that nagging voice in the back of our head that's not serving us right, that's when we go, okay, I have control, but how much control do I have? Or I want to have control over it all the time, and I don't want to listen to that. I gotta breathe. Now I gotta think positive. Now I gotta do all the things to be great. No, stop. Take a deep breath. What's causing your thoughts right now? Okay, breathe. Okay, what do you want out of the situation? Where do you want to go? If you're playing your sport and it's catching up to you right then and there, just take a split second and say, okay, I got this. This is where our affirmations come in. This is where our gratitude comes in, because that pops us back into that space that we want. That I'm a great player, I am a great person, all of those. And that's where we need to get to.
Yeah.
And when those negative thoughts are there, you can shut them down. No, I am a great player. I am a positive person. I can do this. Take a breath and take control.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a hard thing. It doesn't have to be a forced thing.
No.
And if you need to process something, process it.
Yeah.
We have to process whatever anxiety, whatever's creating fluster.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But
all of it is a process. Everything that we're learning, we're literally retraining ourselves. Let's say, okay, let's say you play basketball and you have a habit of how you shoot the ball. Okay, it might not be the right way, and maybe you're wanting to adjust it. Maybe you're wanting to become a better player, a better shooter. Okay, so you have to literally retrain yourself, your muscle memory, your habits. You've created these habits. You have to retrain, create new habits to be able to create like the form that you want to have, so you can be that good shooter. Same thing with any other sport. If you have to adjust what you already have habits to, which is everything, you spend years doing everything, you have your habits. And so you have to retrain yourself. And this is literally retraining your mind. It's retraining your mind to think in a completely different way.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's it in a nutshell. I mean, you gotta you gotta just trust the process and be patient with yourself. And, habits take time. And we all know that, just doing it day after day after day and practicing and, you know, working on our goals. What's my goal? Look at it every day. Write it down. Keep your goals and your affirmations with you every day. Write them on a piece of paper, laminate it, put it in your backpack, put it in your wallet, whatever it is, and keep it with you every day so you can just pull it out and be like, okay, I've got this. This is the reset. Let's reset. This is where my mind is. This is what I'm working towards. This is what I'm going after. I've got this.
Yeah.
All this other stuff doesn't even matter because this is my goal. This is what I'm working towards.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I think we talk about this all the time is like, we've been doing this podcast now for what, 9, 10 months now? And I would say within the last 2 months, 3 months maybe, is when everything really started to click. We've been doing this for almost a year, and it's only now starting to click within the last couple months. You have to give yourself time. And I mean, it was a fight. And I think we talk about this all the time. Everything was a fight to try to figure out how to change our minds and how to change our thoughts and how to process and have the breakthroughs and how to get through the breakthroughs. And it's just everything that you do, it has to take time and it has to take constant everyday practice. But you can't overwhelm yourself with it at the same time. Taking that time to just breathe. Take 5 seconds to inhale, hold it for 3, and then breathe out for another 5. Just take time and just say, okay, it's not going to happen overnight. Remind yourself all the time, it's not going to happen overnight. But what does?
Right.
What in life happens overnight? Nothing. Literally nothing. So literally everything you're going to do is going to take time to work through and to process and to really dig deep and find the true trauma, the true struggles, the true problems that you're struggling with. And it's going to take a lot of time, and it's not going to take just you, it's going to take the people around you. People around you have to be able to support everything that you're trying to adjust and everything that you're trying to change within yourself as well.
Right. Well, and, especially for, I want to say middle school, high school, all those influences around you are huge. So you have all those people around you that are bombarding your mind too. So as an athlete, you have the choice to be a leader in the pack and say, hey, I'm not going to listen to you. And I'm going to choose a better route. And I'm going to choose me and how I want to feel about me and not how you feel about me.
Yeah.
Right? And that's in itself is the hugest lesson ever. And to be in high school, I know for a fact it's like the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But if you want it and you understand that life is better on the other side. Life is better when you can understand that you are amazing, and have pride in who you are, and you have goals, and if you want something, you can have it. You just have to put your mind to it and go for it. And I mean, what did we tell you guys all through growing up? What do you want? Whatever you want, you can have it. You just have to go for it.
Hi, Bjorn.
Bjorn. He looks better than my puppy.
Hi.
My puppy's a conehead.
Hi, buddy. Give a little sniff. Sniff to the camera.
So, no, it's good.
No, but I mean, you're exactly right. And then at the same time too, how good does it feel when the people around you, your friends or whoever you're surrounded by, joins in whatever you're doing? It always feels so good when you have the people you love, the people you enjoy spending time with, who are joining in. And I'm seeing that with our podcast. We're networking, we're working with lots of new people, we have lots of new things coming, and many, many, many people that are wanting to join in with us. And it's crazy and it's so amazing, and it makes you feel good that these other people are wanting to have that same mindset around you and who are wanting to work towards it. Not even just wanting it, because there's a difference between wanting it and being able and wanting to work towards it. And these people are wanting to learn, they're wanting to grow, and they're wanting to include more people because they see that value. They see how it's helped you, especially people maybe you grew up with them. They see how much you've changed, how much you've developed, how much it's helping you, and they're like, I want that. Help me. Let's do this together. And it feels amazing. And it just makes you want to keep going. It doesn't make you want to stop, that's for sure. It makes you want to, okay, we're going. We're not stopping anytime
well,
soon.
And I think, I mean, you're right. And I'm kind of almost get giddy excited because I think, there's so many that we've heard of, especially lately. And I know for you and your class, you've had some hard people leave. And it's exciting to me in the fact that if we can help the athletes be leaders, which a lot of times the athletes are the majority and the bigger part of the school. And if they become strong-minded, healthy, self-confident, not in an aggressive, not in a bad way, but self-confident within themselves, that they love themselves, and they spread that to the rest of the school, how cool would that be?
Well, it stays with you for your whole life. And I think that's why it's so important for us to want to do this now, want to teach this so young, because, I did go to a school that was very heavily athletic based. Everybody played sports. Everybody played some kind of sports at least, or was very active within the sports community. And we were pushed and we had higher expectations because we were known for our athletics. And so everybody always expected a lot more of us. And that's that outside influences that are pushing you, that are, bringing all of this pressure. And no one knows how to deal with it. No one teaches you. No one ever teaches you how to deal with it. It's just ignore it. Ignore your parents. Ignore the people. Just they're not there. It's but they are.
Oh, yeah.
They absolutely are. And so I think, being able to teach it so young, it helps you to work through it then, and everything that you go through within sports, because there are times that you go through sports and it's not a great time. It's very draining. It's very hard on you mentally and physically, especially physically, but mentally, and it can sometimes bring you down depending on who you're involved with your sports, who your coaches are, and how everything's run. And so that can stay with you as you leave. And I think that I've seen a lot of people who, unfortunately, I've had a couple of my classmates who have taken their lives with the last couple months, and all of them were involved in sports. And it's crazy because they're the people that you never thought would do that. And so involved, so happy and successful, especially within sports. And so it's hard to see that, but that's why we're here. I think that,
I think even
I would have had this in high school, I think if they would have had this in high school, they would have been able to take this with them as they grew up and been able to fight those demons,
Yeah, I think that the head demons are so strong right now for whatever reason. I don't know what's causing that, which we knew we could help it, right?
Yeah.
But so many people, like you said, you just don't understand why, because they seemed happy. They seemed, like they were so put together and okay. And so what happened, and all it takes is one thought that you can't control. Not one thought that just takes over, and it just builds and builds. And if you can't learn that you have a voice to control that, it's going to take you. And so I think, for us, it's such a becoming such a bigger passion for us because we have learned to take over that bad voice. We have learned that we have control of our thoughts, and it takes time and it takes work. It's not just go through the workbook, do what we say, and that's it. It's an everyday battle. But to give them the knowledge that they can do it, which I don't think people have that knowledge. I don't think people understand that they can do it.
Yeah.
They can take control. They can change their life. They just don't have the tools yet to know how.
Well, I mean, and how long was therapy like a bad word? You know what I mean? Like, if someone said, "Oh, I'm going to therapy," it was like, "What's wrong with you? Oh my god!" Like, it was like,
You have a
"Oh my, like,
disease.
are you okay? Are you okay?"
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was like, it was such a bad thing. It's like a bad word to say, "Oh my god, I'm going to therapy." Like something has to be seriously wrong with you. But that's not how it is. That's not how it works. You know? Therapy, everybody should be in therapy. Everybody should have someone that they can talk to, someone that they can feel confident in, and be able to just work through those demons. And that's also why we're here. You know, we're that kind of therapist, teaching you how to do it on your own. Not saying that we're replacing therapy by any means, but I mean, for the younger kids, I think it's super important for them to be able to learn how to do it on their own.
Yeah.
And
And
it's really, oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. I was just gonna say, like the therapists, the trained therapists, they are 100% go over your past, go over, what's causing that. And we are 100% for the future. Let's clear and let's learn from what happened in the past so that your future can become the best that it can be.
Yeah.
And understanding that, our past is learning. Our past is just making us who we are now. We wouldn't be who we are now if we didn't have our past. And it just depends on what we take from our past to make our future better.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're teaching. We're not clearing, the past, but we're trying to help you understand your mindset that you have a choice and you have the ability to say, okay, what can I take from the past that I don't want to do anymore in the future, and move past it and be bigger and better and greater.
Yeah. And I mean, it starts with the little steps. You know, we talk about a lot of what I think that we work on and work through. If you just dive in and like just take everything, like if you were to try to go through the whole workbook in one day, that is overwhelming, so incredibly overwhelming. And that's where that overthinking of that positive mentality can just like not benefit you, right? It can make it worse. And so it's like, I think everything that we have here is so incredible to have, but it starts with the little things. Just like I said, creating a new habit, you can't just trash everything and start over. You have to build. So I can add something new so I can throw something away. You know, like I'm adding, like we've talked about my habit tracker, I'm adding new things to my, to my life, my lifestyle, so I can throw other things away. But I have to add and be comfortable with these new things first before I can throw everything else away. And it's the same with your mind. You have to be able to take little steps. Okay, this is the first thing. I really struggle with my anxiety right now. Okay, I'm going to take these little steps to help my anxiety like die down. These little steps are going to help that. Then I can move on to the next thing. Then I can start adding more things. And once I'm comfortable and once it becomes a habit, then I can keep adding onto it. Then I can change things up, and because it's already natural to you at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, I think, I mean, I'm excited that we're doing this. I'm excited that, you're seeing that now in your everyday, and you're experiencing all the different things that are happening for you that you're building on. And I think that's super exciting. And, I kind of, I have lived little bit longer. And so I have a lot more bad habits to clear and to work through, and a lot more head stuff sometimes than you do maybe. But um, it's all a process, and it's all a process for all of us. And it just depends on, where do you want to go?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? What are your goals? If you're a parent and you're like, hey, I just want to be the best parent I can be. And right now I don't feel like I'm that way. Why is that? Because you're doing the best you can for this moment,
Yeah.
you know? And, so for parents, it's a matter of looking at yourself. If you don't feel like you're being the best for your kids, maybe you're not being the best for yourself yet, you
Yeah.
know?
I was actually talking with one of my coworkers today. We were at a meeting, and I was talking about the podcast, the program, and everything. And I was talking about how you and I have a very different relationship than we used to have, and how it's important for like the parents and the coaches to be able to learn this, because a lot of times parents get very stuck in their head of my way or the highway kind of thing. And just talking about how you and I are very different, and the conversations that we're able to have now that we couldn't have when I was a kid. And he was saying the same thing. He was like, my parents' relationship and I are completely different. I mean, my parents were like that when I was a kid, it would have been a very different life. And it's crazy. It's really crazy to like see that, that everybody's going through it. And so it's like, it's not just for athletes. It's for everybody. If everybody starts now, and if I take, like I'm starting this program, I'm going to start teaching coaches how to work through this with everybody. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sick. um, But if I start working through this with the coaches, then the coaches can take this and they can like naturally implement it into what they're coaching with their kids and just how they respond to things. And like I've seen a difference in how I coach. Like I actually was reminiscing on when I first started coaching to now, and how I was very timid, wasn't sure. I mean, obviously when you first start coaching, you get timid, you get unsure. But when I first started coaching, I was like, what the heck's going on? I don't really know what to do. I don't want to say the wrong things. I don't know exactly what these kids know. I don't want to, I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. But now as a coach, I'm able to take any team. I don't care if it's my team or not. I can take any team. I can talk to them the right way. I can find a way for them. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I can find a way for them to feel comfortable to respond to me, and find the right ways that they they need to be coached. You know what I mean? And everyone's different. As long as I'm confident and I'm still, oh my gosh,
You need to drink water.
I do in fact. Oh, let me finish my thought and then we'll go. But anyways, if I have confidence, I get confidence. I can instill the confidence within everybody else. Yeah. I will be right back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it definitely is a big thing when once you learn confidence, and once you find that confidence within yourself, and once, when you're doing something for a long period of time, um, your confidence a lot of times naturally just builds. And that just becomes, because you're used to the routine, you're used to the kids, you're used to whatever you're doing. And so you just become more secure with what you're doing. So that confidence builds. But so it's hard to, when you first start doing something, have that confidence to say, hey, I can go do this. But a lot of times, just even going to a job interview or going to whatever, if you have that mindset of, or going, you're going to go do a tryout for your team, your new team. If you go in there with a mindset of, hey, I am a great player. I am a good worker, whatever it is that you're doing, and say, I have the ability to get this done and I am great at what I do. That mindset in itself is going to create the confidence that you're going to walk in there with your head held high, and you're, ready to go, and you're not presenting yourself as timid.
Yeah.
And you're not presenting yourself as unsure of yourself. And so building that confidence ahead of time and saying, yep, I've got it. I've got this. This is where I need to be. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be great at it. And just those words sets your mind in action of being great
Yeah.
and building that confidence. And sometimes it takes some time to be like, okay, yeah, I think I'm confident, but not sure, but I'm going to tell myself I am, and eventually it's going to sink in.
Make it till you make
Exactly. And that's, I mean, there's truth to that, 100%.
Yeah. I was going to say this earlier. I just wanted to kind of throw it out there because I think it's really cool, honestly. When I was growing up in high school and everything, mental health wasn't really, I mean, it was kind of talked about because, we did have, some people who were going through it and everything, but it wasn't like super, like pushed or anything. And now we're going to all these high schools and they're putting any money, all the money, as much as they can into the mental health, anything. It doesn't matter. They're like, yes, please. And I think that's so amazing. And I know that COVID had a really big part in that because I know during COVID, everybody had the realization of, holy cow, this is real.
Yeah.
The kids that went through the depression, the anxiety, the everything, every other thing that isn't possible is real. And so I think it's really cool. I just kind of wanted to throw it out there. Just
I'm saying kudos to the schools that are recognizing it for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I wish I had that in high school. Absolutely. It makes such a difference. It makes such a difference teaching them so young.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even what we did with Paisley yesterday, it was so fun because it was just teaching her that she could change her thought and she could change her whole day. Yeah. And it was just like, oh my gosh, I can choose to be happy if I want to, I just have to change my thought.
Let's tell them a little sneak peek about it. Sneak peek because they don't know about it. So let's give a little sneak peek of it.
I just assume. No, I'm just kidding. It'll come out next week.
I'm the only one who knows about it. Nobody else knows.
Yeah. So my
episode yesterday.
Yeah, we went over with my granddaughter. She's almost 6, and she was asking me about. I have a board that has the letters on it for circumstance, thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. It's kind of the process we go through to examine what our thoughts are creating in our life. And she's like, what do these mean? What do these letters mean, Grandma? And so I was like, okay, well, let's go over something that happened this morning. And so we went through, she was sad because her dad had left, and she wanted him to come home, and she was sad, and it was creating a bad day for her because she was feeling sad. And I said, okay, well, we understand that, but what if we changed our thought to, I'm so excited when Dad and Deborah come back because it's going to be my birthday and I'm going to be so happy to see them. And it was like I changed her whole world. It was amazing. And she was like, oh, Grandma, I am so excited that they're coming back, and I can choose to be happy if I want to. I have the choice, and it's okay that I don't have control over my situations. And I said, absolutely, Paisley, you don't. And she was like, oh, Grandma, that is so exciting. And I thought, oh my gosh, at 5 years old, almost 6, to be able to teach her that she has control of her thoughts when she wants to. It's not going to happen all the time, but just to be able to explain to her, just talk through what her thoughts are creating, she gets it. And I don't think we give little ones enough credit when it comes to being able to talk to them about what they're feeling. A lot of times they don't understand what they're feeling, especially when they're super young. They don't understand why they're going through their emotions. But she's always been pretty intuitive that way. But even to ask her kids, what's happening that you're feeling this way right now? Because they can feel it. Where are you feeling it in your body? Why? What happened that now you're feeling? Maybe they're just tired.
My whole body.
I know my whole body is sad. Well, okay, why? What happened? And sometimes they can't. Sometimes they just need a break. Sometimes they're just overstimulated, and that happens. But other times something happened that triggered it for them, you know? And so to be able to just sit and let them understand their thoughts and maybe just say, well, what if we thought about the situation a different way?
Yeah.
And you can pop them out of what they're going through and that drama in their head that things are so bad. Well, maybe they're not so bad.
Yeah.
What if we thought about it a different way? Keeping the same circumstance, it's the same situation, but maybe just thinking about it a different way is like life changing for them.
Absolutely.
And it's so fun.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's really fun to watch the progress, no matter who you're working with, watching the progress and seeing it in yourself, seeing it in others, whatever it is. I think it's really, really incredible. I mean, I think we kind of covered it all. I think that was really awesome, honestly. But just take time to understand that whenever you're changing things, whatever you're working towards, it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a actual process, and take it step by step. Start with the little things. And if it becomes overwhelming, maybe you need to back up and find a smaller way to include that into whatever you're trying to adjust with and the mindset that you're working towards. Be patient. Patience is going to be key. Like we said, we've been doing this podcast for almost a year, 9-10 months, and we haven't started feeling any of our, we just started feeling a change within the last couple months. So it's going to take anywhere from 6 months to a year, but it's going to be a forever thing that you have to work on.
It's just consistency like anything else. If you let go of it for one day, just don't quit. Just keep trying, just never give up. And if you have the base, that's what's most important, because you always have that to go to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
it's okay.
Work on it. Yeah. It's okay to fail. Get back up and try again. Don't give up. And we'll be here. We got your back. We got you. You're in our corner. If you need help working through it, we're here to help you as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody, for joining. So sorry I still had a quiet voice and coughing my heart out, but we appreciate everybody joining. We'll see you all next week for our live.
Absolutely. Have a good day.